Wireless headsets, we all know them. I showed you lots of true wireless in-ear monitors that you can just plug in your ears and use it for commuting or anything else. Anything else? Not really, because none of them were really optimized for sports activities. But now I found one, the Famoo X3 Pro, and this is meant for sports. So I think it makes sense to take a look at it in an unboxing and review. So let's get started. So here we have the device and the packaging. X3 Pro earbuds for sports with ear hook. So this is the specialty to really hold into your ear. They have an ear hook. What else do we have on the packaging? Of course, comfortable and auto connect. And on the other side, we have stereo sounds, clear calls, and a charging case. Of course, we want that. And some other specifications like the model name X3 Pro. And the battery is 450 milliampere hours, and the charging is 5 volts, 1 ampere. And it supports iOS, Android, and Windows, and probably also Linux and macOS and so on. But yeah, everything that speaks Bluetooth. Let's open up the package. Here we have the case itself. It's a bit of a large case, but remember, it has ear hooks. Then we have something in here which looks like the USB Type-C cable to A. It's one of those shorter ones, as you can see here. It comes in a nice plastic bag. And then, of course, at the bottom here, we have also instructions. So instruction manual for the X3 Pro wireless earbuds. You can see in various different languages. So English, German, French. And it tells you exactly on how to get them started, get them out of the box, find them on your Bluetooth device, and then just pair them. So let's try to do this. Let's first of all take a look at the case. So yeah, it has some plastic wrapping here. Get rid of. It's a bit of big and chunky. It seems to be it has a display here that shows you the percentages. It's charged via the USB Type-C cable here. And of course, we can just open it up. I have my phone here, the Zenfone 9 in this case. Let's go into Bluetooth. Let's take a look at what kind of Bluetooth device we can see here. It immediately shows me 60%. It might be flickering on your screen, but for the normal eyes, you don't see it flickering right now. It's showing 60%. You take them out of the case and then they appear in your Bluetooth list. I have here my Zenfone 9. I can click on them. And they are pairing up. So just like any other Bluetooth device, you can easily pair them. And we can take a look at some settings. As you can see here, there's no AAC or anything fancy in here, just media calls, phone calls, and that's everything here that we have on those Bluetooth wireless with ear hooks. And what I'm missing here somehow are some tips, some replacement tips that are of course there as well. So they're not gone, they were just hiding. So we have also replacement tips here, of course. So after a while using them, I can tell you a few things. First of all, let's get out the good things out of the way. Battery life. 45 hours of in-ear glorious battery life with this case. 8 hours on the charge with the earbuds out. Really, really, really cool. They run phenomenal with this. Sound quality for the price under 40 euros is good. It's an okay sound. It's not an audiophile sound. It's an okay sound for a sports device because you want a little bit of lifted bass there to get you pumped when you're training, and maybe a little bit elevated highs as well. The mids are recessed for sure, but everything else is good in terms of sound quality. So good sound quality, good battery life, good features just like sweat-proof IPX7 water protected. So you can, in theory, use them also for swimming, though not like diving or something like this. Shouldn't be an issue at all. I wouldn't recommend it to do it. And if you're cycling, for example, be aware of your surroundings. So because you have in-ears in there, that it might get you into trouble somehow. So this out of the way. Let's talk about one thing that is not so good with them, and that is by default, at least for me, the fit. And this is something that, yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing because the default configuration is horrible for my ears because it hurts after a few minutes. If I tweak them a little bit, it fits wonderful, nicely, like they are supposed to fit. But then they fit nicely in my ear, just like right now. I'm listening to music and listen to music without any issues for hours and hours. They really, really are good in this term. But then when I put them out here of my ear in this configuration, I cannot really put them into the case. You can see that the hook doesn't align anymore with the case and the hook where the hook is supposed to go. And this has something to do, I had to push the hooks a little bit away to have a nice fit on my ear, and each ear a little bit different, which is interesting because we all have a little bit different ears. So this standard configuration of the hook that has like one little lip that holds it into place is not the best, I would say, at least not for my ears, and I have to readjust them. Gladly you can do it, you can just twist it around the whole earbud, if you can see here, and somewhere you will find the lip, the default lip that will hold it together. But what I really like, this is a good thing that you can do something like this, and then it will fit nicely, or it doesn't fit. In this case, you can see it doesn't fit, so I have to readjust it a little bit so that it can fit on my ear. So now it is fitting nicely. You get an okayish seal, I would say. I mean, it's a seal where you can, I think I can get a tighter seal, but when I'm working out, even if I have the hook here, even with the biggest ear tips that I have in here, it slips out of the ear. So it's not like foam tips or something like this. So it will get out of the slightly. This has something good in terms of audio quality because the bass is reduced a little bit and you get a little bit more mids that you can hear clearly, and your own voice, and especially when you're cycling, the surroundings and so on. But maybe it's not intended, and some people want to have it like fit in a little more, so I can readjust them to fit nicely. And it's possible. You can do certain configurations with the ear hook. Not a thing, but you have to adjust it a little bit. The default one is like for probably the average consumer, and I have like difficult ears probably, and this is why I have to adjust them a little bit. So this is the only problem I have, and the only gripe I have with them is like the default one, and that every time I want to put them in the case, I have to put them into the default position. Can be a bit tiresome. And one suggestion I have for the company is just like get this molding for this ear tip. Just have the molding for the earbud itself, and for the hook just have like something else there that is more flexible, so they can put it in different configurations. That is my personal idea here. Otherwise, maybe they can make, I don't know what else they can do for this to make it adjustable like this. Otherwise, the sound quality is good, the battery life is good, the IPX7 rating is good, so everything is good. The range is also good. I cannot confirm it's Bluetooth 5.3 like stated, but I think there's only the quality is like, and the lip sync is improved in 5.3, not the range so much. So the 10 meters range, I could reach outdoors without any issues from my smartphone away. In my home, it is basically on par with my Sony Link buds and some other devices when it comes to connectivity and connection stability, in this case indoors. So nothing I have to complain about. Under 40 euros, and you get real cool devices that you can use for sports that don't cost you a ton, but they're still working nicely. So I can recommend them under 40 euros. You just have to see if they fit for you or not, and then adjust them eventually. And maybe you can find other ear hooks because they're using standard ear hooks. Maybe you can find ear tips. Maybe you can find a bit bigger ear tips that at least for me, I think I need a little bit of bigger ear tips here. Otherwise, they are okay for sports. I don't have to complain. Under 40 euros. The only thing that's left now is to check out the sound quality in terms of microphones. So if you are running around and you want to take a call, how do they sound like? So let's check that out. So these are now the Famoo X3 Pro, and this is the sound quality that you can hear now running around outside. There's maybe a slight breeze now going on, and some birds you can hear in the background eventually, and that's basically it. So this is the sound quality that you can expect. It is something for emergency situations, I would say. I wouldn't use them personally when I'm in a crowded environment or something like this, because they don't have a good noise filter that will filter out the crowded environment, I would say. And in general, I think they are okay for this kind of price point. You cannot expect
like a glorious sound filtering out here, but for emergency situations, if you want to call someone, these are fine enough and could work a little bit better than your phone's microphone eventually when you don't have a hand-free. So what do you think about the sound quality here of the microphones of the X3 Pro?